Previously, we talked about shape layer contents. By expanding shape layer contents, we have access to a shape path, a stroke, fill, and some transform options, which allows us to modify our shape or animate it. Today, we are going to talk about shape modifiers. They are modifiers that can be applied to any shape inside shape layers. You can find them in front of content in Add menu. In this tutorial, we are going to work with a number of these shape modifiers, starting with gradient fill. Sometimes we want to apply more than one color to our shapes. To do that, we apply gradient fill to the shape inside shape layer. One important thing to know about shape modifiers is they impact anything that is above them. To get the effect of gradient fill, I need to expand my content and then place gradient fill below rectangle pass and above fill. When I do that, anything that is above gradient fill would be affected by this shape modifier, and previous fill will no longer be applied to the shape. To edit gradient fill, I expand the modifier. I have the options to change my gradient fill, starting with the color. When opening gradient editor, I have to color white and black. By selecting each handle, I can change the default color in color picker. And then I can change the second color. There are other options that allows us to edit the gradient fill. The next modifier is merge path. This modifier can be applied to two or multiple shapes inside one shape layer to merge them together. If you expand merge paths, you find different options such as subtract, intersect, exclude intersections. Another modifier to apply a shape is round corners. It allows us to curve the corners of a shape. Here, if I go back to my shape and right click and convert my shape path to Bezier path, I can also edit my shape to different shapes, such as a glass. There are a couple of shape modifiers that allows us to create interesting star, flower, or twist shapes. Let's see how they work. The next two shape modifiers can give interesting forms for our shape paths. These two modifiers are wiggle path and zigzag. Trim path is a shape modifier that is specifically very useful for creating path animation. It has three options of start, end, and offset, and you are able to animate each option. I would create a keyframe for end, change the number to 0, and then after a number of frames, I create another keyframe and change the number of end to 100. Playing the animation, I get a result like this. Now, if I copy these two keyframes by pressing Command C and pasting them in a start option by pressing Command V, and then just move them a few frames ahead, I get a result like this. We can also just animate the offset. So I'm gonna delete the start and end keyframes and just define a number for them. So I have part of my path, and then I'm gonna create keyframe for offset. So I create the first keyframe, and then the repetition of my offset is 0. I move my time slider a few frames ahead, and I create another keyframe and change the number of repetition in offset to 3. Trim path is also a useful shape modifier for creating graphs that are animated. To repeat a shape, we can copy a shape multiple times, or we can apply repeater shape modifier. We have the options to change the number of copy that we need. We can offset them. There is also a transform option inside the repeater that allows us to change the position of our copies, their scale, rotation, and etc. We are also able to add multiple repeater to one shape. The last modifier that we are going to talk about is wiggle transform. If you remember, we said that it is important where we position our modifier because everything above it would be impacted by this modifier. This modifier applies a sort of wiggle animation to your shape. Right now, I don't see any movement because there is no change in the transform options of the modifier. If I create a little bit of change in the position or scale, then I would be able to see the wiggle transform. I can also change and modify the animation using these options. Now let's do a little exercise with two of these shape modifiers. We want to create a sound wave.